what's up, guys? It's Will with Lightweight Debris Removal here in Vista, California. Hey, I just want to put a video real quick together. I have about 2 years ago, I bought a Freightliner 106 M2. And when I picked it up, I had a choice because I bought it brand new. I could have it derated to under CDL, or I could max it out at the 33,000 gross vehicle weight limit, right? And then I have a Class A license, so I was like, you know what? Let's just go for it, man. You know, why wouldn't I max out the capacity on my truck and have that available, right? Because I figure I'm going to be running 20-yard dumpsters, and sometimes they get heavy. I just took one right now, and I weighed in at 25,220 pounds. That was what is that? I can't even see it on here. 3.57, so 3.5 tons, right? And so the video I want to put together is, doesn't matter if you have a CDL or not. I mean, if you do have a CDL, I guess this is the question for those people. Do you need to have a truck that is over CDL, right? Is that what you want? And I don't know, I had this truck for 2 years, and I can honestly tell you how many times I've went over the 26,001 pound, and the answer would be like three times. And here's the honest truth. At the time, I had the decision to make, and I was like, man, that's why I went bigger, man. I had a PJ trailer and a 3500 truck Ram, and I was like, the whole reason why I stepped up, because I was gonna haul more weight. And then I had a lowboy dumpster that was made by Max D, their 7-yard, and I was constantly being overloaded with the trailer. I had it on my PJ trailer, and then if you see my other videos, I had that converted over to a hook lift, so I run that same Max D 7-yarder with this truck. And I guess, I was just kind of thinking about stuff, and I'm like, should someone get the 33,000 pound, truck rating, or should they just run a non-CDL, right? And I think, in my opinion, I would just go with the non-CDL after running these loads and seeing what I'm really running. Yeah, nobody needs that extra 4,000 pounds or whatever it is. Comes out to what? I guess that's 26, so it's like 7,000 pounds, which could be 3 tons, right? So do you really need that extra 3 tons? I'd say no. Because you know why? This truck, although it can, my payload on this thing is with my dumpsters and everything, what I can put on the back of this is about 7 tons. I could safely do 7 tons, but if you've ever run 7 tons on a Freightliner M2 with the baby engine, I have the 6.7 B diesel. So it's like, nah, man, you don't want to run 7 tons. And what I like to run, and our name is lightweight debris removal for a reason. I don't like hauling heavy. I really don't. I believe heavy kills your truck, heavy kills your brakes, heavy can get you in an accident on going down hills. And if you're in a 2-axle truck, you don't have that rubber on the road like you do with a 3-axle truck and all them wheels back there. You don't have the braking, stopping power, you don't have the traction. What I do have is the maneuverability, right? So and I watch a lot of videos, and I see a lot of people out there they're running the smaller trucks, the Chevys and the Fords. And I think that would be kind of underkill, you know what I mean? There's overkill and underkill. This is a little overkill, having a 33,000 pound, but if you're only at 24,000 pound carrying capacity, or your GVRW, I think you're gonna be struggling, because you don't know what people are putting in these containers. I just picked up one yesterday. It was down an embankment. It was a steep driveway. I had to back down, and I told the guy, please don't overload my dumpster. I don't know if I can be able to get out of here, even with the low gear. I don't have a granny gear, but I got a low gear on this thing. And I said, please don't overload me. It's been raining. I don't want to have any problems coming up out of this hill. And I don't have that control, and that's what sucks. If you guys run dumpsters, you know what I'm talking about. It's like you have a lot of control about a lot of things, but one thing you don't really have control over, you do, but you don't, because depends on that person. If they go ahead and don't listen to you, you know, and they put your life in jeopardy, I mean, you're not going to know it until you start loading it on your truck, you know. And then that's a decision you got to make once you're putting this thing on your truck. Are you going to just run it, or are you going to leave it, tell them to, you know, offload it? But those are hard decisions, you know. It's like, it's really hard. You know, of course, if you have a 15-yard dumpster full of concrete, yeah, offload it, right? But what happens if you don't really realize what's in there and you put it on the truck and it seems okay, tires look a little flat back there on the dualies, but the front of the truck didn't come off the ground or nothing, so you know, you feel safe enough to haul it, but then you're putting that risk on you, you know. But you guys know what I'm talking about. If you guys run dumpsters, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But kind of get back to my main point is, do you need a CDL with a bigger truck like this, the M2? I'd say no. And even if you do have one, do I recommend you get over 26,000 pounds? I'd probably say no. I ran this truck for 2 years. I don't allow people to put concrete in or dirt in these dumpsters. They do anyway. I know they stink a little bit in there, but I've rarely gone over 26,000 pounds. If I do pick up a dumpster and it's 26,000 pounds, like goes over that 26,001 pound, I'll know, because this one was heavy. I just put, like I said, it was 3.5 tons. It felt heavy on the truck. You know, I feel like that's about that's the heaviest I want to haul on this thing, basically. I don't want to go 4 tons. That's about it. You know, this thing can do 7 tons, but I don't like driving more than 4 tons. It doesn't feel right. I feel kind of like tipsy-topsy. I doesn't want to stop all the way. It feels like, you know. And then on top of that, if it's raining, you only got four sets of wheels on the ground. You got your dualies back there, but you know, you got 4 touching points, you know, on each corner, basically. So that's my spill. I would say don't get it. Derate it. The other reason is if you end up needing to hire a driver, or you got a relative that doesn't have a Class B, they can drive it if you don't have a 26,001 pound rating on your truck. So I think the benefits are in your favor. Another thing, I have to meet requirements, you know, like I have to go get a 2-year medical every 2 years. You have to do a medical, which is not a big deal, but it's something I got to do. Well, one day I get sick. They're cracking down on sleep apnea. They always looking at my neck because I got a big neck, you know, and it's just kind of like, wow, you know, they have the power to take away my license if they want, you know, my commercial license. But, you know, a Class C, you ain't got to put up with all that, you know. So, you know, I mean, you still have to meet some requirements out there as far as, like, I'm in California, so we have all the CA numbers and DOT numbers. I still got to get all that, but, I mean, I wouldn't have to worry about my license as much. So, anyway, leave a comment down below. What do you think? If you're just running a 2-axle truck like this Freightliner, would you go with the higher rating on max it out to 33,000 gross vehicle weight, or would you just stick it out at the 26 mark and below? All right, leave a comment down there. You guys have a blessed day.